project is investigating the impact of new technologies on electricity sectors in the Pacific, looking at whether solar panels and batteries could augment or eventually replace electricity grids and large diesel generators. Within 10 years, batteries and solar panels together could be having a very large impact on existing electricity sectors in the islands. And that's both a very positive thing, because it's going to make it easier to extend electricity to people who don't currently have it at cheap cost. But potentially it does mean that the island governments are going to have to think very hard about what do they do with their existing generators and their existing distribution assets if they are found to be non-competitive against the new technology. So we certainly think it's something that Pacific governments should start thinking about. At the moment they're focusing very much on using solar panels to replace electricity generation, but they're just connecting to their existing electricity grids and their existing technologies. We think the batteries in particular are going to change the equation, and that's something that should be looked at. And the point is that this isn't just something for the Pacific Islands, it's happening around the world. And a lot of countries and a lot of companies are trying to work out what to do, and they don't really have a solution. The first phase is showing that the costs of both solar panels and batteries is diminishing very quickly, and it won't be very long before they will be economic in the Pacific, and so they do have the potential to start radically changing how energy is delivered to Pacific nations. What is changing is the cost of the batteries and their efficiency, how much power they can hold. And we've all seen how cell phones have become smaller and smaller over the last years, and a large amount of that has just been the batteries are getting smaller and better. Electric vehicles are doing the same thing. It's the same technology, just using it for a different purpose. There's hundreds of millions of dollars of investment in solar panels and in electricity grids, and so this could, as we say, it could potentially significantly reduce the cost of expanding electricity in the Pacific, particularly in outlying islands that don't have electricity or have very expensive electricity. In main islands and main centres where they've already got grids, you are potentially looking at the ability to replace the existing generation with solar power. Phase 2 involves going out to the islands and doing on-the-spot investigations, talking to people. At the moment, phase 1 has been very much desk research based in New Zealand. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs have been very supportive. They're funding the project. They've been quite large donors of solar panels into the Pacific, and they're quite keen to look at this next development, which is adding batteries to that investment. The outcomes of the research will be a research paper that we'll give to the New Zealand Institute of Pacific Research that will outline what we've done. We hope to get that published in a journal to distribute it more widely. But then, particularly in phase 2, we want to be preparing material that will be useful for Pacific governments to think about how to address this issue. So building up their capacity to address what could be a very significant but positive technological change.